Hi, welcome to the Drawing Solo podcast. My name is Mason McKinney, and I'm with
Chalupa. Hey.
Chalupa. If you want to learn how to get inspiration from anywhere, subscribe to my newsletter and receive a PDF that'll show you how to do so. My gift to you. So, Chalupa, where are you from?
I'm from over here, the United States, more specifically Florida. I'm right here in Orlando, Orlando area. I'm Central Florida.
How long have you been there?
Oh, my whole life, my
Oh,
entire life, I've been here. Was born and raised. However, I will say, I was born. I was what's it called? I was raised. I don't want to say like dirt poor because there's no way. What's it called? Definitely not dirt poor, but I guess less than fortunate. I mean, around like I think you remember the housing crisis. What's it called? The economy crash of 2008.
who can
I
forget that?
Yeah, I was too young to really remember it. 'Cause right now I'm 20 years old, but I do remember from like what's it called? My parents and my sister, my older sister, recently told me just how bad it was. I thought that my mom, because she was working in Chipotle at the time, and I thought initially that she was just bringing Chipotle because like it is what it is, and like just cause Chipotle, and why not? I didn't have a problem with it. As I found out later, she mainly brought Chipotle because it was the only thing we could get. We couldn't get anything else because they sold it. I think they sold it to her for like I don't remember how much of a discount she got it for. But point is, it was actually somehow cheaper than cheaper than groceries.
Honest,
So
honestly, what
yeah,
that reminds me of is that saying where you're like, shout out to the parents, because when you're young, you really don't know what's going on in the world, but like
yeah,
your parents just make it look so effortless.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
that.
because
I don't know how they get away with that.
yeah,
Maybe we just
no, it's because my parents are very hard workers. They emigrated here from Mexico. They came here specifically to work. So, well, not only that, but fortunately, Florida had more job opportunities for my dad because he was a carpenter doing framework and everything. So he had more job opportunities because back then, even though there was a housing crisis, there was like a an unbelievable amount of projects. Like I seen this place just like, and I'm not like what's it called? I'm not gonna act like I've been here this whole time. I've seen this place go from nothing but swamps to to Disney World. No, I'm not one of those guys.
I
I'm
mean,
not that old,
like you,
but
you you did say that you lived here your entire life, so that's all you know.
I have. But like, because I'm not because I can't pretend like there wasn't stuff already built here.
Hmm.
Yeah, there was definitely plenty of stuff, but I have seen like a bunch of what's it called projects and everything go around the entire place. There's still plenty of job opportunities over here. The plenty, but I've seen like entire neighborhoods being built. Like I was there for it because my dad sometimes took me. I saw what's it called? I saw like freaking towns and like what's it called? All these sort of things being built because remember this is like I think late 2000s, early 2010s, somewhere
Hmm.
around there. Yeah. Still, like I said, there's still a bunch of places around here that are probably gonna be bought for land, maybe some neighborhood. But yeah.
Yeah,
Although Florida does still preserve the natural what's it called? The Everglades, that's still being preserved. I mean, and I'm glad that it's still being preserved, don't want to change that.
yeah, because from my understanding, is that not every land is so is a good foundation to build upon.
Yeah,
Yeah, some are.
definitely.
So I guess that like nature knows what's going on, you know.
Yeah. There's every so often you'll hear about a sinkhole being opened up. So you definitely don't want that. You definitely don't want that. Plus,
Absolutely.
it doesn't help that the hurricanes sometimes, well, destroy some things. However, we do. I seriously don't know how some of us do it. We just instead of because we can't afford to go out of the state, so we just stay here and just I guess put like a couple of sandbags in front of windows and that's it. Although you're kind of out of luck if you're in like a low a low area because you might get flooded. So
Yeah, and the one thing about America that a lot of people tend to forget is that it's huge. It's ridiculously
yeah,
huge, and everybody just
yeah, no,
concentrates on the coastal
like
areas.
Florida alone is probably as big as like bigger than a huge number of European countries. I think it's, if I'm not mistaken, it's as big or bigger than the UK, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that. I'm pretty sure people in the UK can correct us on it, but I know people in the UK, I constantly hear people in the UK saying, "Oh yeah, can you just take a trip? Can like a plane, not a plane trip, but like a train trip from like Florida to
No.
to California
That's
or
why we
something?"
don't that's why we don't do trains. Like I'll be honest. I didn't even know Florida had its own train. And like obviously I know they have like little train transports and everything, but I didn't know we had our own like train transporting people system. Like what's it called?
A transit, yeah,
Transit. Yeah.
yeah.
Like I said, I don't know trains. I don't know trains. I didn't know we had our own thing until like a couple of years ago. Because I didn't think we needed one. We mainly get around just by driving.
Oh no, I completely understand because I have a friend. I live in North Carolina, right? In like
Mhm.
around the capital, Raleigh. And I had a friend that lived all the way out in Charlotte and he wanted to go to a Death Grips concert. And I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not driving. And like from Raleigh to Charlotte, it's a 3 hour drive, just a straight 3 hour drive if I wanted to go
Dang.
there. And it's still in North Carolina, so it's but
Yeah. I
but
mean,
yeah, go ahead.
our I feel that because I think I remember, like, I think it was, yeah, last year we went from Central Florida to Miami. I think it was something to do with some sort of paperwork, I think some sort of immigration paperwork, because my parents are still currently trying to get their citizenship or residency, one or the other. I mean, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get it soon because what they really need is a voucher, and I'm
Hmm.
about to be 21 next year, so it'll be fine. But point is, it was 4 hours, and we went there and came back, and I guess like it's Central Florida, by the way. So imagine
Hmm.
if we were going from there to Northern Florida, that drive would just be insane, completely insane.
I think it's weird when people talk about like a there needs to be better transit systems like in other places of the world, but then you have to think about I don't know if people really takes a part of how big how big everything is where like
Yeah,
when you live in America, you need a
I
car. It's like
I
there's nothing
saw
around that.
I saw what's it called? Quora?
Quora, explain.
It's like Yahoo Answers, but
Okay,
that's
yeah.
that's basically
The
the
reason why I
website.
graduated high school, yes, I remember Quora.
Yeah. So it's essentially this one little question that was asked, like I can't remember what exactly it was, but it was something along the lines of what when you came from Europe, when you emigrated to the United States, what was one thing that that blew your mind, right? And this one European guy, he like moved here from I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, Belgium. He came over here, and I think the thing that he said, I can't remember exactly, but he said something. It was huge. It was huge
Hmm.
because he kept on emphasizing, and he kept on and reminding when he was in Europe. When he was in Europe, he agreed with people saying, I mean, why don't people in the United States, apart from New York, have more transit? Blah blah blah, this and that. Then he came over here, and he came into a place that you desperately needed a car to get around, the Midwest. So
Hmm.
when he was like, I think he bought a car or something, I can't remember, but he just realized just how huge the place is because he was driving for like 5 hours and he still wasn't out of the state. I think it was Oklahoma or something like that. And then he recalled that back in Europe, if you wanted, you could get from like Paris to not Germany, but just like to a whole different country in like a couple of hours. In the United States, it just isn't possible like that. You can't like plan out going to a bunch of these places, a bunch of landmarks in the United States without either having it, what's it called? Without either being rich or just like planning it out throughout a whole long time, spacing it out. In
Yeah.
Europe, you can. Yeah, in Europe you can. It was you can use a transit system, blah blah blah, this or that. The UK actually, I've heard people say you can go see like you don't you I mean you won't really like spend too much time there, but you can see nearly every single notable landmark in the UK just from like some sort of transit system or driving alone.
That yeah, like the countries are just built different. It's
Yeah.
so to say the least. But going back on track with the podcast,
Right.
got sidetracked talking about transit systems.
Super sidetracked.
Yeah, it's okay. We have fun here. So what do you create?
Yes, sir. Mainly YouTube videos. YouTube videos about. Well, personally, I would like to create anything, but as of right now, it's mainly webtoon reaction commentaries, not reviews. I'll emphasize that again. They're reaction commentaries. They're my own opinion. Like people can take them into consideration, but in the end of at the end of the day, you know, some people. It's like some people hated. What's a good movie?
The first thing that comes to mind is Star Wars, I suppose. But you said some people hated, and I think Star
some
Wars.
people hate like really good movies, like
Yeah.
your favorite movie. Some people will hate it, and it's
Yeah.
like that, you know. And I'll be honest, a lot of these videos, a lot of these webtoons, I mainly put for like what's it called, some sort of like a little clickbait aspect because it's kind of just the way YouTube works. I mean, YouTube's been around for a long time and it's changed throughout the entire history, but some things just don't change. Clickbait being one of those. It just so happens that not too many people talk about it as much as they used to, like 2017, 2016 eras. And if you like watch some of these actual videos, I mainly just say, this webtoon's not for me, but it's all right, sort of like that, you know. Like it's like average, but but the title's like, oh, the worst webtoon ever, something like that.
As a guy trying to get more and more into making videos, I'm just like taking the podcast and like slicing them up in like 10-minute segments so I can be seen by the algorithm more. And then like I just have to think about like, oh man, what will be a title of this one? What can I have for the thumbnail of this one? And then I'm like,
clickable title.
Yeah, the most clickable. Like I'm just saying, like, what can I get the most downvotes for? Like, how much can I get like somebody like thumbs downing the video just by the title alone, but while still being able to click on it and hope for, oh yeah, it gives you
for some sort of growth.
Yeah, some sort of growth, some sort of value. If somebody gets value from like what I create or what I like post on the 10-minute segment, I hope they like it, because what I want to do with the podcast is people just talk about stuff that they're genuinely interested in. And I just happens to be people like around the creative field, because that's what I know, that's what I can relate to the most. And I just like but like at the end of the day, I like hearing people being interested about anything, because I just been around so many people who's just
of course,
who just coast through life and not really find anything interesting. So that's like something that I wanted to do. But you said you do like webtoons reactions. Like, why webtoons specifically, and why reactions over reviews?
Well, all right, so before the webtoons thing started, I was I think you might be aware of them, the little commentary community, right? Before that whole thing happened,
Like
before I went with the webtoons, it was like
the YouTube commentary community.
Yeah, like
explain that to the audience.
Not even like Moist Critic. Okay, I think you might know people like Moist Critical or Some Ordinary Gamers. I think you might know people like those, but I was more like not aligned, but I created content more similar to that of Pyrocynical in his early eras. Basically, you would like get a video, some sort of, mainly would be some cringy video, something that would be clickable, I guess you could say, and you would just put your own little jokes, this and that, blah blah blah. You're putting your thoughts into it, and mainly it's just you joking around, basically.
Right.
And people would like that. And I tried to create my own spin on it because I couldn't really like. I guess I'm not as witty as like pyrocynical, more critical. So I tried just using mainly editing. Unfortunately, back then I was not as good at editing as I was now, and even right now, I'm still trying to improve. I'm trying. I mean, that's one of the key principles that I adopted with the whole YouTube journey. That with every video, I have to improve on something, and I understand that my videos cannot be perfect. There's no such thing as perfect.
I agree.
So I keep on improving as much as I can, as much as I possibly can, to create the best possible video that I can at the time. And eventually, for a good chunk of the videos, for a good chunk of the channel history, I just was not satisfied with any of the videos. I just keep on looking back and like, dude, this this is terrible. No wonder I'm still like 400, 300 subscribers, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually I made more higher quality videos. I think and no one should be ashamed to use like video tutorials, like little editing video tutorials. Nobody should be ashamed of it. It's, you know, if you need a hand on doing it, if you need just learn about doing it, then go for it. You can, like right now I do a more practice makes perfect sort of approach, but my latest video that I'm gonna come out with, I think I mentioned it in a couple of videos that, or not videos actually, no, on my Discord server. I've mentioned that I'm going to be making the first video I'm going to be doing on computer, and I'm definitely going to be using some Premiere Pro, After Effects tutorials and everything, because I don't know it completely. I was mainly doing it on phone my whole time. And to answer the second question, like what's it called? No, wait, what was the first? I think it was the first question. The webtoon. Why the webtoon specifically? Well, so after high school, I just completely went to do the whole YouTube thing. Now it's not like I was jobless or everything. I did still have a job. I did still work a little bit. It was part-time, but point is I still created a bunch of videos as much as I could. And I think some of the videos got a little bit of attraction, but not too much, you know? I did gain like 200-ish subscribers. And then eventually I made a webtoon video on this one webtoon called Boyfriends. Now that video got, it like blew up overnight. And when I say blew up, it's not like 100,000, but to me at the time, it was like 10,000 views. To me at the time, it was insane because I was averaging around 700, maybe 1,000, and that's a big maybe. But that was still insane to me. So I kept on doing it.
What?
Initially, the webtoon videos weren't getting as much traction, and I still did upload the commentary videos. However, I think one video I uploaded about Let's Play, the webtoon, it didn't blow up overnight, but it was sort of like a slowly exponential growth sort of video where like initially when I uploaded it got like 3,000 views, and then I saw it was going a bit more up, like 4,000, then 6,000, 8,000, 10,000, 15. It was going up, and that was essentially my big break where I finally got monetized, and officially I got a job on YouTube, I guess you could say.
Oh, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Why do you think the boyfriends and the level up video blew up over the other content or videos that you made on your channel?
Okay, well, Boyfriends I definitely know because at the time there was a little trend where people were slandering on it, and I didn't. Yeah, I did. I think I was definitely aware, but I thought I was a little too late to the party, so I didn't initially. I didn't think it was going to get that much traction, but it did. Thank the Lord. And for the Let's Play video, I actually asked why did it just like I was grateful, but I just out of curiosity, how did it blow up? And apparently it's because a bunch of I guess drama was going around about the webtoon itself. One for because the original fans weren't exactly into it because it devolved. At least I hear it devolved from I guess a romance kind of webtoon to just like I guess for lack of better term, softcore porn, I guess you could say. And then I think there was also the fact that Webtoon, the company, the app, and everything, they were marking the Webtoon as 18 and up, and the creator was angry about that, and I guess left Webtoon. So there was like a whole thing about that, and I guess that led people to going onto my video. So yeah, it's just I guess a bit of a coincidence, I guess you could say.
Why do you think, as like an outsider perspective, why do you think drama like entices people to look at things more than just the merit of the actual subject of the art?
I guess because there's this one saying that I have, like what's it called, that I hear on occasion where you don't want to be in drama, but you definitely like to hear about it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what entices people the most. They very much like seeing the drama. Are that's why a bunch of people are subscribed to Moist Critical, where he sometimes does his little commentaries on the whatever drama is going about on the internet. And I think for I guess that's called. I guess for negativity, I don't exactly know what it is, but I think it kind of like excites people. I guess people are more entertained by something that is what's it called? Drama related.
Yeah.
Or I'm pretty sure there's some psychological reason as to why, but plus for my videos to be specific, there's some a lot of these webtoons are I jeez for lack of a better term, not good. They're just not good. And there's some of them that are just downright controversial. So there's that as well. So it's not exactly an unpopular opinion that I have, but yeah.
Why do you think people flock to bad webtoons? And like, I'm not gonna. I don't want to say like, oh, why don't they like promote more of the good ones or elevate the good ones? But people are so hyper focused on the bad one. It seems to me that everybody is so divided on what they think is a good webtoon, but like everybody huddles together on, oh, this is absolutely not it. What are your thoughts on that?
I let's think about that. Good question. Uh well for one, some people like to see that someone agrees with them. I think that's why some people like watching those those reaction YouTubers, the people who just like watch videos and don't really add too much to them other than their reaction, like Tyrone Magnus or what's his face back in the day, Jinx. Those
Hmm.
people, I think they like seeing people agree with them on some sort of thing. Like people like what they like, or people don't like what they don't like. I guess that sort of thing. Some sort of maybe an echo chamber sort of thing. Like I said, there's some of these webtoons where I don't even necessarily hate. I
Right.
just what's it called? I just put the clickbait and everything. For example, one of these webtoons, I think it was Unordinary. Have you heard of it?
Oh, can you explain it to the audience?
Yeah, sure. Basically, webtoon about it's like a world of super like what's it called? People with superpowers
Hmm.
where they're just like I guess they're trying to train in school and everything, learning how to use it, but with also I guess regular school academics. And main character, he doesn't have any powers, and he's like the one of the only people in the school in the whole world without any powers. so he gets bullied because of it. But I guess through the indomitable human spirit, he's able to sometimes fight back against some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And I only did about like 10 episodes. That's what I mainly do with a bunch of these webtoons. I mainly do 10 episodes unless they're super short. Like if the episodes are like 2 panels long, then well, I might as well just go more than 10 episodes. But I didn't really get a full gist of it. But while I was reading it, I was like, this is all right. This is all right. I will put I will put a clickbait title, but it's all right. And I think people mainly just saw the title and thumbnail and got mad at me over mad at me over it. And I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of just like I expected it. I expected it. I can't just be like, oh, why are they hating the video? No, no, dude. I mean, if they see something that like this is one of their favorite webtoons, of course they're gonna be mad. I mean, I can't blame them.
No, I completely understand. I think YouTube
I
backlash can be a completely different beast altogether because I remember
Yeah.
in the earlier years of me with my YouTube channel, I had a controversial take about like a new anime called like Odd Taxi or something like that. And I just
Mhm.
had like this weird I have a an unpopular opinion of just I don't like a lot of like animal anthropomorphic animal designs because it's usually
Yeah.
just an animal head on a human body, and I think that's the
Uh-huh.
laziest thing ever. And I just made like a 10-minute video just talking about my gripe about like an overused like design trope that I feel like
Mhm.
is a creative crutch, and I just got downvoted to hell because of it.
Yeah.
And the comments were just people who only read the title and just like 10 seconds of the intro just left the downvote and just called me dumb and then left. And I was like, all right.
Yeah. I mean, it does help with some sort of like algorithm wise. It kind of does help dislikes and comments, but either way, no, I think I have had plenty of videos like that. There's another one called "I Love You" with
Hmm.
2 O's, where basically this. I think it was like it's kind of like typical romance, but the main girl is like I guess rowdy. She had a bad childhood and she's kind of rude to people. I guess I think that was like my only kind of real gripe with the webtoon itself. But apart from that, I didn't necessarily hate it. And but, man, I think that was the overall it's the most disliked video I have regarding webtoons. However, I mean, I say that, but it's not like a huge 50-50 between likes and dislikes. It's like 97%, which is kind of a lot, but it's not overall it's not that much. But point is, there was people saying, I didn't breed enough, which fair point, because I even admitted it myself that I didn't read enough to truly get a true feel of the webtoon. It was like I think 7 episodes, because the thing is I only read that much, and I would read more, but I only read that much because my phone it I tried uploading a video. The first Going back to the first video I uploaded, the first web let's play video,
Hmm.
it was like 18 minutes, and it rendered very terribly. Like some of the green screens that I had just like didn't show up. I think some of the videos I had, like videos that were playing over another video,
Right.
overlaying it, yeah, those just like I think they appeared like for a split second and just that's it. There was like some things where the audio was too late for some of these like the background music, it just didn't play for like the first 3 seconds, and afterwards it started playing and it just like completely overpowered my voice. So then I guess I just stayed away from making longer videos. Occasionally I do make a longer video because like I don't know, I just kind of have to, but as much as I possibly could, I try to make my videos around at most 14 minutes long, at most, for the phone specifically. Right now, I can definitely do one with the computer since I'm for currently making the longer video, which is probably going to be uh conservatively maybe 30 minutes. It could be 40 minutes for all I know. Very long.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Like coming from an outsider's perspective, like me, this is me talking right now. But if you're like getting 10 episodes in and you're not hooked, that sounds like a problem with the writer, honestly. Because if you
Oh, you think
this
so?
is this is gonna be like my unpopular opinion, I suppose. But if it
Mm-hmm.
take like if you're not letting people know why you're here or what you're doing with your story, like within the first chapter, why should people be trusting? Why should people trust you to know what you're gonna be doing within the rest of the duration of your story?
Yeah, that's a decently fair point because there's actually a couple that I downright loved. A couple of weapons that I downright loved.
Hmm.
There's one called Lookism, where basically it's set in South Korea. It's made by this guy called Park Dae-jun, and basically the main character Daniel, he was bullied for a good portion of his life for being fat and ugly. And eventually, one day, I think it was the second episode, he wakes up with a whole different body, and it's not like his body was just like changed overnight. He just like gained a second body.
Hmm.
So he has two bodies now, and so he can change one just by sleeping. So he goes to sleep with one body, boom, he's in the other body. Or he gets knocked out in the other body, boom, he's in the other body. And eventually the webtoon, well, I think I also really liked it because there was also some pretty cool hand-to-hand combat fights in there, which I guess I'm a sucker for that, you know,
Hmm.
for choreography and everything, fighting, and it is my current favorite webtoon, along with some of the other works that the creator has made. And like it was the same thing. It was 10 episodes. It was 10 episodes that I did.
Hmm.
It was the first webtoon where I read it, and I was like, I gotta keep on reading. I gotta keep on reading. I was invested. I was invested. So and for some other ones, well, they lost me at like episode 3. You know?
Yeah, it's all, and it doesn't mean if it loses you, it probably does. It can either mean two things. It A doesn't appeal to your interest, or B the writer just wasn't that good. But in this big wide world of the internet, there's always something for everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, but
Everybody has their own tastes and preferences.
mhm.
I mean, some people like for example, wrestling. There's some people who just like pro wrestling to be specific, or like WWE and AEW. Those little companies.
Yeah,
Some people, little companies, they make billions of dollars. I don't know why I said little companies, but point is, like I like it, and I see some other people not liking it, and that's completely fine. You know, it's not their thing. You know, some people, I guess, when they found out that it wasn't real, they just couldn't get into it. But you know, it is what it is. So long as if that's your reason for not liking it, then that's fine. Just like don't I guess just don't use that as like a crutch and say, "Oh, you should." That's why you shouldn't like it. You know? Yeah.
yeah.
Which is another thing with my videos. I don't discourage people to just like not like it unless it's like some very controversial one, like this other one I read. It was the red haired boy. I guess how do I describe it? Without without this video getting like I don't know, age restricted. Uh it had to do with it had to do
I'm a
with
small YouTuber, so there I have no fear yet.
okay. Well, incest. It was incest, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. So I guess like apart from things like that, or I guess really bad things happening,
Hmm.
then well, you know, I can't really do anything about it. Like if you like a webtoon, what am I gonna do about it? I can't just make you. Oh, you can't like it. No, 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 no. I'm gonna make you. I'm
Yeah.
gonna force you not to like it. You're gonna get brainwashed. No, I can't do that. This is quite like one. Even if I like one, I just can't do it that ethically. And two, even if I wanted to, like, how could I? How could I? I can't. I can't. It's impossible for me to do that.
I think there are ways to like get people to see like their favorite one of their favorite things or like a favorite show and change their minds about it. I
Yeah,
guess
I mean,
I guess like the strongest way that I noticed is like telling people either it depends on like the person you're talking to. It's either you talk about the creator because you know on Twitter everybody wants to be like, wow, this creator did X, Y, and Z, therefore the work that they made is terrible and should not be seen by anybody ever.
yeah, I guess
Or
like sort of some sort of separate the art from the artist sort of thing.
yeah, or just when people just see a piece of work from a distance and they're like, oh yeah, I like it. But when you realize like why the creator created that work and like the reason why
Oh,
they created the work, and they're like, okay, I don't agree with this anymore.
yeah, I guess
So,
it's some sort of what's it called? I guess context is everything sort of
yeah,
thing.
context is everything. Like
Yeah,
like
and
that happened to me a little bit sometimes, but
I think there's like only a handful where I just like didn't like it. There's this one. This is the movie came out this year. The Flash. It
oh
was
yeah.
like yeah, it came out this year, and I just like I wanted to separate the art from the artist. Well, not even the art, the artist, because
Hmm.
Ezra Miller didn't make the movie, but just the mere fact that he was still in the movie, despite everything that happened prior, it's like it, I can't. I didn't even bother to watch it. My friend, on the other hand, did watch it. Thank goodness I didn't. Apparently one the CGI was PS3 level graphics, and
I hate when people say PS3 level graphics because the PS3 was
no,
kind of dope. I like
no,
okay,
it was, but not like really good PS3 games,
okay,
like super super crappy games.
right,
Just
okay.
like, and then there was also the fact that I think it was the story itself. People just didn't really like. I mean, what can you expect? Because I think it went through so many rewrites, so many different writers, so many different directors. It's eventually after that, it's just like you can't really do much about it. So
Right.
the story itself, it just came a convoluted mess. There's also that, and a bunch of the cameos were just CGI. Like they were promised, they were hyping up all these different people to be in the movie, and then all were greeted to. I think one person, if I'm if I'm not mistaken, I think one person was just their back, and then another one was straight up a cardboard cutout. So no wonder people were mad about the hype. If you can't even
Huh.
get the people in through the hype, then well,
That's
yeah.
interesting. That kind of I wanted to like that reminds me of I wanted to like circle back to the lore because I feel that not the lore but the drama because I kind of because it feels like I had my own take on it and it
Mhm.
psychologically why do people love talking about bad things or like why people love the drama surrounding a certain art over the quality of the art itself, and I think the drama it in a way it builds real life lore. It's like
Yeah,
watching history in real time.
yeah. Because
So
like what's it called? Whenever you look at historical things, whenever you go to history class, like history buffs,
mhm.
like they find it interesting, and like it's not like the things that they're looking at are necessarily good things that happen. Like they could be reading about like the Vietnam War, or or like some sort of massacre that happened, and I guess they're just interested.
so I guess
So,
so I
but
guess
this, yeah,
like
regardless, they're
guys who like
interested. Yeah,
yeah I was gonna say like I guess guys who like drama are just history buffs.
I guess so. It's internet history. It's internet history.
And
So
it when you said internet history, it's so interesting because there are there are more and more YouTube videos popping up on my feed just talking about or just documenting like figures that had a following in the early internet, or just historical memes, or just documenting early internet history, because
Yeah.
it's such a weird thing to think about how all that was essentially a decade or 2 decades ago.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy how far the internet has come. Like I think I was shocked to I think I was kind of like confused to realize that the internet just didn't just like come out during the mid 2000s. It was like a 90s thing too. But well, the internet was a whole different thing. It was like AOL and everything, dial up, this and that. And the internet has just like so much history, especially like it still has so it's still going on. All the history revolving around the internet. I think I mean there's one YouTuber who's quite literally called internet historians. And right now sometimes he doesn't even do internet history, just like regular things that happened that's not in the internet. I do wish he would go back to like documenting internet history. The point is, in some of his videos, he documents things that happened like revolving 4chan, what 4chan did.
Hmm.
Or like there's this one where I think if I'm not mistaken, 4chan got into one 4chaner got into like some sort of convention, but not like some regular convention for like cosplays or anything. No, it was like a business convention where people have panels talking about this some sort of business. I think it was called Agile, and they were it was like it was a serious thing, you know. And one special feature that this panel had, this convention it had, was these little screens. These well, like I say little, but they're about the size of like I guess a regular door, like
Hmm.
about the size of a regular door. They're around various areas of the entire convention, and the the special feature with these things was if you tweet with the hashtag Agile 2013, then your tweet would come up on these panels. Unfortunately for these people, one of these people was a 4chaner, so he sent it to I think it was one of the slash B I think, and so he just sent it. And considering it's 4chan, I mean, I guess you can guess what happened.
Yeah.
A bunch of trap imagery. I think no, not
For
gore. Actually, yeah, I got gore, porn.
for the people don't know who 4chan is, they are
It's
the kind of the
it's
Pandora's
like
box. I want to say Pandora's box of the internet. I'll just say that.
yeah. I think they were. I think right now they're less of what they were back then. But when they were like not early, late 2000s, early 2010s, that was like their peak, their absolute pinnacle in the internet. Because right now, I guess since it's become more popular, like don't get me wrong, it's still kind of is what it always is. But the thing that
Hmm.
makes it so, the thing that makes it so I guess appealing to people is the fact that it's a forum board, but everyone is anonymous. Everyone in it is anonymous. You can send whatever you want. You can send whatever you want, and there's like zero anything happen. I mean, people have posted like confessions about crimes on there. There's one where someone posted, I think, where he confessed he murdered his, I think it was his girlfriend or wife. I can't remember. The point is, he posted it and he posted the corpse and everything. And I guess people were thinking initially, unfortunate, because I guess this happens a lot, unfortunately, but they thought he was just like faking it. Come like an hour later, it's on the news. So yeah, 4chan, it's like completely
Pandora,
anonymous.
yeah, absolute
Yeah,
Pandora's box of the internet.
absolute chaos, especially like I
Early days.
guess 2009 to 2016, give or take,
Hmm.
17.
I like this is still on the internet topic, but going back to like the internet history, is that back in like the 90s, like the internet was just a niche thing. So like if it was if you were on the internet, then you were part of the culture. But as soon as the internet just started skyrocketing in like
Hmm.
user base, and then it was on everybody's phones. Then everybody's phones were able to be on the internet, and then half the entire
Yeah.
world had access to the internet.
Yeah,
The that bubble
you
just
even see
grew.
like
Yeah.
people in dirt poor villages who have access to the internet. I mean, some of these have like their little computer labs, or they just straight up have phones, little
Hmm.
luxuries, I guess you could say. It's just, it's a whole, I guess, an era.
That reminds me of a video that I saw that was talking about this one Muslim village that where everybody just had phones. Like everybody in that Muslim, it was like one of those dirt poor villages that everybody had phones, and they were in an Indian territory, I believe. It was like a Hindu Indian territory, and
Hmm.
they were just beefing. So like the people the Hindus, they were using the internet for
Hmm.
as like put as making propaganda or just sending false information uh,
Yeah.
to basically terrorize the little
The
Muslim
Muslim,
village. Yeah, the Muslim
uh,
villages.
those, oh man, I feel bad
Yeah,
for those people.
and
I
like
can't even, hold
like
on, you continue?
the weird thing that was weird to me, that kind of opened my mind about like how big the internet is now. Well, specifically Facebook, was that the when the entire world has like don't no access to like every country, most
Mhm.
countries have access to Facebook, and Facebook is the entire internet to them. And I was like, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
like it's like Facebook has been declining in popularity with the younger people, with Gen Z, Gen Alpha, even some millennials. But I guess considering for a lot of people the world revolves around them, they just say, "Oh, Facebook, no, Facebook's irrelevant." No, 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 they do not understand. It is still very relevant, just not to them. In general, you can see like just for example, just to name an example, uh I'm Mexican, right?
Hmm.
My family, they always either post or talk about things on Facebook. Like that's like how they know what happened in their hometown. Or other than that, they also have Messenger as well. So they use that. Or WhatsApp. Or WhatsApp. Like you don't really like in the United States specifically, like you don't hear people in high school or middle school, hey man, I'll add let me get your WhatsApp. Let me get you don't hear that. But in like other countries outside, I guess even I guess in I think Asia as well, you see people, it's just like their thing. Messenger, WhatsApp, not really Snapchat or Instagram or all these other all these other things. It's like
Yeah,
a whole
like
thing.
it's and what really interests me, which is also very interesting, is how all the like you have so many different social medias that just come and go, and everybody just migrates from one thing to another thing.
Yeah.
I know like everybody where everybody's going to migrate next is always just a weird mystery.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, just like I think it was 3, maybe even a month ago. Actually, no, it's still going on. The little beef about like this one Minecraft YouTuber Dream and the voice actor of Amazing World of Gumball, the voice actor for Gumball,
hmm,
Nicholas Cantu. They
yeah,
had like their own little internet drama and everything, and it was like super big, super like what's it called? People were talking about it, this and that. Occasionally people are still making videos about it right now, but they're slowly, as you can see right now, they're slowly diverting to the next topic. And the topic before that was this other drama with Jax Films and SS Sniper Wolf, where SS Sniper Wolf doxed Jax Films and everything, and it was a literal crime and everything. People were shocked seeing a crime being committed on YouTube, on what's it called, by a YouTuber,
yeah.
and there was like no backlash against her. Well, not backlash against, like, there was backlash against her by the community and everything, but by YouTube, because they're a company at heart. They're going to care about money more than the feelings of people. They're they only gave her a light slap on the wrist, temporary demonetization, and I guess everyone just like sort of moved on. I'm not sure if Jack's films moved on. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't blame
how
him.
can you move on from that?
Yeah,
It's
how can he
interesting.
move on? Yeah, because he got doxxed. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, or actually, I'm pretty sure I am mistaken. I was about to say maybe he's pressing legal charges. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure if he just like let it go. But point is, people just like, I guess, moved on from that. It's crazy. People, it's kind of sad because like people, I guess, are their attention spans have gotten so destroyed by like short form content. Like, don't get me wrong, on occasion, I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I don't indulge in a little bit of short form content, but I don't indulge as much as like people who scroll for like a whole day, like it's a job to them, like TikTok or Instagram Reels, YouTube Short. It's not wrong to just like watch these things on occasion, but eventually it's sort of like an addiction to these people. Like, if you don't catch their attention within the first millisecond, they're done. They're done,
I have a weird
It's
relationship with with short form content because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, it's shrinking the attention spans of people." At the same, but at the same time, are the people really doing anything with their lives?
Yeah, that
You
is
know,
true. That is true.
like everybody.
Mainly, I will
Yeah.
I will understand if it's like people who are still in school and everything, like mainly high school, middle school, like they don't really have much better to do. If they're not doing that, then it'll probably be like, I don't know, playing video games, doing stupid internet challenges. Well, then again, I mean, stupid internet challenges have
Yeah,
just not changed.
and like the
It's
and it's a weird thing because I know that I think currently my dad is a teacher at I believe at a high school
mhm.
and middle school or high school, and every day he just comes home saying these kids are nuts. Like these kids,
Oh yeah, no,
like I
I
keep
don't
hearing
blame him
horror
for.
stories of teachers,
I don't blame him.
yeah, of teachers of just talking about their kids. Like we're like the public school is essentially daycare for like people who are not like I don't know. It's just daycare.
I think the absolute worst to be a teacher in would be middle school, because the thing with middle school is they have like, I guess, the, well, bad word, knowledge of high schoolers, and what's it called? And they're also introduced to like all these new topics, like, I guess, sex, racism, sexism. They're introduced to all this, and they still have the immaturity that they did when they were in elementary school. They have the
Yeah,
worst of both elementary and high schoolers.
it's the weird.
So
And
combine
it's
that, then they're just, yeah, the absolute worst.
you're absolutely right about that because when you're in middle school, that's when you start getting opinions. That's when you start getting opinions that's separate from your parents.
Yeah,
And
you become more rebellious. I think there's some sort of biological study about that. Well, you're getting puberty. You want to become more independent. You don't want to rely on your parents as much. Well, for a lot of people, I mean, there's some people who don't. Hold on, I'm getting a call by my sister. I gotta message her. Give me a
all
second.
right,
But yeah, so people in general. Hold on. Doing podcast. There we go. She'll get the message. She'll get the message. So, so, dang, she ruined my flow. She ruined my
oh no,
flow.
you were talking. Yeah, you were talking about how the middle schoolers just have the quote unquote knowledge of high schoolers, and they're getting right now getting their own autonomy. They're in that weird state of
Yeah.
they want that autonomy, but they
Uh-huh.
don't know what that autonomy means, or like
Yeah, not just, yeah, because kids, I like. I acknowledge this very much, and I'm still growing. I'm still growing as I get older. But kids in general, especially in middle school, you just are not that smart, like at all. Like you think you do, and then you get older, and I'm like, wow, why was I thinking like that? You know, like you should have taken. Like some people are like, I should have taken my parents' advice. I really should have. And then there's other times where like, why did I do that? Like for example, me when I was in middle school, I was I guess typical. I was more rebellious and everything. I didn't want to follow my what's it called? Let me get into my own little history. So
Okay.
I think it was about hold on. She messaged me, mom made food. No. And eagle emojis. There we go. So basically we had our own trailer. We lived in this trailer. It's still the longest place that I lived in for my whole life. I lived there for like I think about 9 to 10 years. Eventually, we moved out because we wanted to we wanted to upgrade. We wanted to get a house and everything. And we moved in with my aunt. And my aunt had her own set of rules and everything. But being a middle schooler, being rebellious, I guess I just didn't want to follow with said rules and everything. And it's not like they were like super hard rules. I mean, all I had to do was like it was her house, her rules, and now I understand that. Back then, I just didn't want to follow with said rules, like clean the house, blah blah blah, help out around. Don't be, don't I guess don't interrupt her sleep because she's not old, but she's not young. She's like in her 50s, so and I guess I didn't really like understand that. Maybe I didn't want to understand that. Maybe I wanted to just like it was selfish. It was selfish. Eventually, we did move out from there and skip over a couple years. We have to move back in with her for a little bit, not as long as like because we stayed with her for said years, like about 3 years, most of my middle school life, and uh, I think we moved back in for I see. It was last year, actually. It was last year. Moved back in for like a couple months. I think it was 3 months. And this time around, I have more maturity than I did back when I was in middle school, freshman year of high school. And I followed along with said rules much more easily. And I think at some point I was like, why did I complain so much? You know, like why did I think I was in the right? No, it was just me being selfish. Like I said earlier, it was just me being selfish. I didn't want to follow around with her rules and everything, but this time around, I made sure, even if it wasn't for as much time, I wanted to make sure that I didn't like disrupt anything. I cleaned around the house. I tried to help out around the house, but I'll be honest, they're generally clean, so I didn't have to do as much as I needed to, you know, do as much as work. But either way, I did, you know, and then right now I'm like comparing how she treated me back then to how she treated me then, like last year. Like back then, she was more upset with me, frustrated, and everything, and I understand that because like why wouldn't you be frustrated with a middle schooler who's not following your house rules? And when I was in her house, she was a lot more calm with me because I had the maturity of an adult. I was like 19 and I understood, yeah, 18, 19. I understood this and that, clean around the house, blah, 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 just, and don't disrupt anything, you know? Don't be a brat, essentially. And she treated me with said respect. So, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like, yeah.
So, I have one more question. How can the people support your goal?
Support my goal?
Yes.
Make sure to like, comment. No, I'm just playing. No. So, I think my general goal, well, I think my general goal overall because I want to be like growing as much as I possibly can. However, I do understand that in YouTube, generally, you have to evolve your content. Like if you remain a stagnant person, remain doing the same content over and over, if you're lucky, you might, and just might, have your content like what's it called, still growing, have your big channel end up someone like Jacksepticeye or Markiplier, if you're lucky. If not, then you'll just like fall off. And one of these people who I'm gonna take, for example, that evolved their content, Pyrocynical. He started with his content with doing MLG format. You remember MLG, right? Where
Yeah,
basically
Major League
420,
Gaming. Yeah.
Doritos, Illuminati, yeah, that. Major League Gaming. He started doing that, like MLG memes and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And eventually he started doing his own little commentary videos, I think I mentioned before. Then he evolved to even further, where now he's doing full hour-long game movie reviews, TV show reviews. And sure, he still has his own comedy, he's still his own editing style and this and that. But like you get the point, he evolved with his content. And I want to do the same thing. And I understand that I can't do the what's it called? Oh, there goes the dog. Sorry about that. I don't want to like stick with the webtoon content. Even with my commentary videos, I understood that I couldn't do those forever. Okay, I think the best thing people could do is just like, I guess, stick by me with the editing that I have. Like my editing will evolve and grow, and I will change, I guess, but I will change for the what's it called, the better, essentially. There's these I think there's these what's it called? There's this one thing that my friend told me. He was like called. He was a big supporter of me back when I was in my commentary era days, and right now he's like got over 1 million subscribers. I think his name is Poncho, and he told me just keep on growing and growing, and eventually you'll have an audience that will stick by you no matter what, and just keep on growing that. They'll what's it called? They'll watch you for whatever content you post because they don't just like the videos that you're posting. They like you, you know?
Yeah.
And I think one thing I want to do, I guess this is very ambitious of me. This is very ambitious of me to say, but I want to keep on making money, and not just like a selfish way. Don't get me wrong. I do like money and everything. I do like what's it called?
I really hate when people talk about money and they feel like it's a bad thing. No,
Yeah.
get your bag.
Yeah.
Ethically, morally, of course. Get that bag. Ethically and morally.
I was what's it called? I did grow up poor, so I like money more than, well, I guess richer people would, like people who grew up spoiled, you know. But point is, I want to, I guess, sort of be like some sort of a Mr. Beast like figure eventually, where I'm giving people these money, helping them with their own financial troubles. Because I understand that very much. At my family's lowest, it was during COVID. We were just rock bottom. Eventually, I said, "No, we're already rock bottom. There's no way we can go down any further," and we did go down further. So,
Hey.
but the YouTube, me doing the YouTube, it actually ended up helping my family so much more than I actually anticipated, because YouTube pays a decent amount, pretty good amount. They pay, I think I make more than some of my friends do at their full-time jobs. On average, it's about, I think, 16 to 2,000 per month, and that's just on average. So it can be as low as like 15 and as high as like nearly 3K around there.
Okay.
And it's like an exponential growth sort of thing, where, because like as it is with YouTube, you keep on growing, so eventually you just, I guess, earn more money. Then there's also then like let's not even get into sponsorships. So uh eventually you make more money, and I want to help my family out right now because we're not doing bad. We're doing fine for ourselves at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents desperately, well, I can't say desperately, but we do want to, what's it called, our own house. We haven't had our own house like since that little trailer. So we I think we paid off that trailer actually. That's why it wasn't so bad during the 2008 economy crisis. That's why we were fine at the moment. And we want our own place that we want to, what's it called? I want to help them with that. I'm so glad that I got what's it called? I finally got good credit because like nearly a year ago, I didn't even have my own credit card or anything. I didn't. That was one thing that absolutely killed us when we were trying to find a house last year. We were trying to find houses for rent, for sale, maybe, trying desperately. But unfortunately, we just, we just didn't have we just had none of us had credit. Not me, not my mom, not my dad, not my sister. So, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people, specifically adults, they would understand that if you don't have credit, if you're trying to buy like a car or a house, then just like consider yourself out of the race. It's just it's just not going to be done. Like we were fine. We had the money and everything, but without the necessary credit, then I guess on a technicality, they just couldn't get us. Now we finally do, and we still don't have enough money to like get our own house because we're still just like doing our own thing right now, inflation, this and that. But it'll be fine. It'll be fine eventually. And then there's also the fact that me growing up in this, because I grew up mainly around the hood,
Mm-hmm.
and those people I know that desperately struggled. And I even right now I still see people who are just like barely getting by, only eating like what's it called? Only being able to afford cup ramen. Which I'll be honest, I mean I'll be honest, it is what it is if you like cup ramen.
Yeah.
But if you just like if that's the only thing you can get, like cup ramen, instant mac and cheese, if that's the only thing you can get, then you're definitely like, I guess, well, struggling.
Well, like as long as I think the most important thing is to know what you want to do to get out of that situation, because
Yeah.
that hunger is your drive
Hmm.
to say, this sucks. I want better for my not only myself but my family, of course.
Hmm. Yeah. And I want to, like I said, I want to help with, because like I said, I know people, and I even see strangers out there who need help. And I will say, I cannot help each and every single person. I acknowledge that because there are some people out there who just, you can't help. Like people who are highly addicted to, what's it called? Very bad drugs, like what's it called? Meth, crystal meth, and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I heard a story out there actually about a father who he had a son who was like really he was like headed to a nice and bright future, but eventually I guess some sort of peer pressure happened and he was introduced to drugs, and so he eventually just like fell down a rabbit hole. And his father, of course he wouldn't want to see his son like this, so he tried so hard to help his son, but eventually he just gave up because he realized unless his son himself was willing to do something, then he just can't do anything about it. And that's the thing with a lot of these, what's it called? A lot of people in in what's it called? Not poverty, but like just poor in general. Like unless they themselves are willing, truly willing, and not just trying to live to get by, but living to just, what's it called? Grow, then you can't really help them because there's people out here who buy things that they just don't really need, like expensive clothes. Like you see, you see people with like a Balenciaga and like freaking like ghetto schools and everything, and like you don't need that. You don't need those clothes. You don't need all these like the latest phone. You don't need all these things. All these materialistic things. That's one absolute killer of the people in the impoverished areas. Some people get it. Some people get it.
Yeah,
Some people don't.
like living, like trying to find escapism through luxury brands.
Luxury brands. Yeah. I remember because I switched schools from a ghetto school to a relatively nice school during my freshman year of high school. And I remember thinking, I see more people with like luxury brands in the ghetto school than I did in the relatively nice school. And these people, now I'm not going to say every single one of these people were living the life, because well, I went to that school and I definitely wasn't living life. But the point is these I guess more people there just understood that they just didn't really need all that things. Maybe they already had it. But either way, it's just interesting that you see more of the materialistic luxury items over at these more impoverished areas. And I guess that kind of brings back to that, I guess, the Muslim village that you said. They all have these phones and everything. They all have these phones, but are these? Then again, are these phones? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, they were like cell phones. They were like cell phones. Yeah, like what we have.
Mind.
They were able to access Facebook with them, from what I remember. And only.
Well,
Facebook.
like if they, I don't know. I guess if they are like, if they're some 2010s, early 2010s phones, then it is what it is. But if they have like iPhone 15, then well, that's a whole different story,
Yeah, absolutely. But
yeah.
Well, this has been the Drawing Solo podcast. My name is Mason McKinney, and I'm with
Chalupa.
And if you want to learn how to get inspiration from anywhere, subscribe to the newsletter and receive a PDF that'll show you how to do so. My gift to you. Signing out.
He's getting a plug.